What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Truth Addiction. This is the channel that deals with the disease of addiction and all the ways it manifests itself. I'm an addict, a recovering addict, and my name is Brian. I suffer from a disease which is incurable, progressive, and sometimes fatal. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible. How's everybody doing today? It's hot as a motherfucker outside here on the outskirts of Philadelphia. Shit. I was melting outside, I ain't gonna lie. Right? So anyway, we're here to do the 8th video of my 12-step series, corresponding with the 12 steps of a 12-step anonymous program. Mine's Narcotics Anonymous. If you've been watching the videos, you all know that. I'm not here to promote Narcotics Anonymous. As a matter of fact, I could actually say I'm here to promote all 12-step recovery programs. Because when you have the disease of addiction, whatever your addiction is, I believe that for somebody that has that going on in their brain, that the 12 steps of a program can absolutely help you treat your disease. The things that we uncover going through these steps absolutely treats our disease, and it will keep us from getting high on whatever we get high off of, right? Now, I happen to choose Narcotics Anonymous, but there's a lot of good 12-step programs out there. I said it before, I'll say it again. You have Alcoholics Anonymous, you have Cocaine Anonymous. I mean, there's Overeaters Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, so on and so on and so on. All the steps are the same, except for the first step. It interchanges a couple words. Just for an example, in Narcotics Anonymous, the first step reads, we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives have become unmanageable. And in, let's say, Alcoholics Anonymous, it's we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. And everything else is the same, 1 through 12. That's the only thing that changes. The spiritual principles contained in these steps work across the board in any 12-step program you go to. So, if you're out there struggling, thinking about it might be time to get some help, put that thing down, whatever the thing is that you're doing that's making your life unmanageable, I strongly suggest, you might want to try a 12-step program. Alright? With that said, I appreciate everybody that likes the videos. They watch them. They leave a couple comments here and there. Shit helps me, keeps me going. It's helping our algorithm on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Hit that notification bell if you could for me. You know, fucking subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Anyway, before I get into this, I was looking at this I don't know what it was. YouTube shit, TikTok, I don't know what it was. And I heard this good ass quote. And the quote said, don't eat with people that you wouldn't starve with. Think about that shit for a second. Anyway, let's go. Like I said, this is step 8. Step 8 reads, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Right? What we do here is, or at least what I do here, I'm going to read the step. I'm going to try to break it down to the best of my ability, give you my experience. I'm going to pause here and there along the way and kind of give you my experience on what I just read. And if you'd be so kind, if you could leave a comment and maybe give me your experience with this step if you've worked it, right? So here we go. This is it. This is step 8. We've done things like admitted our addiction. We admitted that on our own we couldn't do it. We came to the rooms of a 12-step program and we realized we need that type of power. We were powerless. We found the power. In the third step, we made a decision to stick with the power and go on with the rest of the steps. We did things like we took an inventory of ourselves. We put down people that we've harmed, right? We got into shit like relationships and all this other fucked up shit. Guilt, remorse, fears, right? And then we shared that with somebody. Our sponsor, I suggest you do it with your sponsor, ourselves, and the God of our understanding. Then we tried to work on some character defects, tried to get into them shortcomings, right? Now we should be approaching this step with a humble mindset. We got some humility to us. Hopefully you do by the time you get to this step. And now it's time to think about those people that we hurt. Our wives, husbands, children, jobs, school systems, the police force, whatever it is, man. This is where we sit down and we get honest and we just make a list of the people that we have harmed. All right? Let's get this. You ready? Step 8. We made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Step 8 is the test of our newfound humility. Like I just said, right? It's time to use that humility we just got to. Our purpose is to achieve freedom from the guilt that we have carried. We want to look the world in the eye with neither aggressiveness nor fear. Are we willing to make a list of all persons we had harmed, to clear away the fear and guilt that our past holds for us? And that shit got a question mark on it right there. So first and foremost, are you willing? See, like, this is one of the parts where we get to where we change. This is where, change is already occurring, but this is where the true conversion of change really starts to happen. Because this step right here is about pure love. Love for the people we harmed, and most of all, love for ourselves. Hopefully, we're really starting to love ourselves at this point, right? So this is an important step. We got to be willing to make this list. Don't worry about doing the amends, right? We got to be willing to make this list. Our experience tells that we must become willing before this step will have any effect. The 8th step is not easy. It demands a new kind of honesty about our relations with other people. The 8th step starts the process of forgiveness. We forgive others. Possibly, we are forgiven. And finally, we forgive ourselves and learn how to live in the world. For somebody with the disease of addiction, and we all know the shit that we've done along the way, right? Done some foul shit. We've broken people's hearts. We stole people's trust. We stole their fucking hopes and their dreams, man. You know what I'm saying? And in a very fucking selfish manner. Because all that's going on in our brains is how do we get the next one? We are literally in a state of insanity, right? It's insane, the things that we do when we're using. Seriously. And along the way, we beat ourselves down, man. And when you put down the drug or the drink or whatever it is, whatever your addiction is, you start to feel that remorse, that guilt, because you start to feel. You wasn't feeling shit when you was getting it in, right? But you start to feel, man. And it's rough. Man, that shit's rough when you gotta look at your fucking self like, yo, man, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that, man. That shit is rough, man. This shit is not easy. This shit takes work. You gotta be willing to change, man. This is more than just getting clean, bro. It's more than getting clean, man. Alright. By the time we reach this step, we have become ready to understand rather than to be understood. We can live and let live easier when we know the areas in which we owe amends. It seems hard now, but once we have done it, we will wonder why we did not do it long ago. And that right there, that part that just said, we learn how to be understanding rather than be understood. I've been clean for a little over 7 years. And from like day one working with my sponsor, it's one of the things that's always come up. You know, it's way better to be understanding than trying to be understood. Sometimes you just gotta let people be where they're at. And sometimes, you know, it's okay not to be right. You know what I'm saying? Even if you know you're right or you believe you're right? It's okay to just be like, yeah, you know what? You might be onto something there. I'll have to think about that. It's so much easier to walk through life like that, man. Stress, man. You relieve so much fucking stress like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So to be understanding, and plus being understanding is needed to be a good human being. Gotta be understanding. With understanding comes compassion, man. And love. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, right? So, we need some real honesty before we can make an accurate list. In preparing to make the 8th step list, it is helpful to define harm. One definition of harm is physical or mental damage. Another definition of harm is inflicting pain, suffering, or loss. The damage may be caused by something that is said, done, or left undone. Harm can result from words or actions, either intentional or unintentional. The degree of harm can range from making someone feel mentally uncomfortable to inflicting bodily injury or even death. Bro, some of us killed people, man. I hear about shit on the news all the time. Drunk driver collides into 3 people standing at the bus stop. Dude dips out, does a 3-car pileup on Interstate 95. 2 people dead. Babies, all kinds of shit. How about people that get drunk or high and they have domestic issues, end up killing their spouse? All kinds of crazy shit come from addiction, man. And some of us, fortunately not me, have literally caused the death of somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? And when we think about harm we caused, we think about like more or less the intentional shit. But how about the unintentional? Like, yo, I didn't even mean to do that. I didn't even mean to hurt you. I wasn't even thinking about that. You know what I mean? And, you know, in your active addiction, you ain't thinking about shit but getting high. But this shit here is also for when you're clean. Because by the time you're on the 8th step, you should be clean by now. Like, you done put the drug down. You can't get to this step, in my opinion, unless you've been abstinent. Because none of it matters if you ain't been abstinent. So you've been clean for a while. And hopefully, you ain't doing that much harm anymore. But things will come up in life. We say things we don't mean, right? We make mistakes. We don't do some shit that we should do. And like, we need to learn how to make amends to people. Like on the spot kind of amends. Or even if we go off the fucking rails on somebody, to be able to pull it back as fast as we can. Maybe a couple hours later, maybe the next day. Yo, I just wanted to say, man, yeah, that shit that happened the other day, man, I apologize. I was out of pocket. Be able to do that shit. But definitely in our active addiction, man, we was wilding the fuck out. Wilding out. Selfish motherfuckers. That is the core of this disease. Self-centeredness. All about us. We're the sun, and everybody is just fucking orbiting around us. It's an insane way to fucking think, right? So, alright. The 8th step presents us with a problem. Many of us had difficulty admitting that we caused harm for others because we thought we were victims of our addiction. Hey, let me just put that out there. Because doing this channel, I've seen comments. I've got hidden up in my messenger on Facebook. I've battled with people back and forth, in the comment section. And there's something that I can't really battle with. And I try, but it comes down to that. Just be understanding and don't try to be understood. But the thing is, really, most of society sees people with the disease of addiction or drug problems, whatever you want to say, they see us like real low type of scum ass people. And you know what else they see? That it ain't a disease. You just doing it because you want to do it. You keep burning your mom, your dad, your grandma, your husband, your fucking wife, your daughter, your son, whatever it is, because you want to. You keep putting that poison in your body because you want to. And like I try to tell people, I can assure you, there hit a point in my addiction where I didn't want to anymore. And I couldn't stop doing it. It's the craziest thing when your fucking brain just turns bad on you and just wants your ass either dead or alone and in a fucking fetal position. My last 2 years of getting high, maybe even longer, maybe 3-4 years, I was doing everything I did against my own will. Because I didn't want to do it as I was doing it, dude. It's crazy shit, man. But the thing is, we're not victims. We have a disease, and I believe that 100%. And as a matter of fact, so do a lot of very intelligent people that have studied the brain, that have made this their life's work. The government classifies it as a disease for a reason. It is a disease. There's no question in my mind. But dig this. I am responsible for treating that disease. That's real shit. We ain't victims. Most of the time, we victimized. Right? So, the 8th step presents us with the problem. I just read that. Admitting we cause for others. Okay. Avoiding this rationalization is crucial for the 8th step. In other words, it's saying avoiding that whole victim shit is crucial for this step, right? We must separate what was done to us from what we did to others. We cut away our justifications and our ideas of being a victim. We often feel that we only harmed ourselves, yet we usually list ourselves last. If at all. Hey man, I did my 8 step list a few years back. I didn't even have myself on there. It took, when I was going over that with my sponsor, he asked me, hey, aren't you missing somebody? I'm like, what? You, man, you got to make amends to yourself. That shit sounds weird, but I get it. You really do have to make sure, you have to forgive yourself, bro. You have to forgive yourself to move on. See, forgiving yourself relieves you of the past because, listen, nobody got a fucking time machine. You can't live in that, man. You have to let it go. You have to kind of remember it so you can be a better person and not do those things again, but you can't live in it. There's a difference, man. This step is doing the legwork to repair the wreckage of our lives. It will not make us better people to judge the faults of another. It will make us feel better to clean up our lives by relieving ourselves of guilt. By writing our lists, we can no longer deny that we caused harm. We admit that we hurt others, directly or indirectly, through some action, lie, broken promise, or neglect. And man, when you're in your active addiction, boy, you doing all those things. All those things. This shit is about selfish, being just straight up selfish, man. Selfishness is tops. Everything kind of stems from that. It's fucking crazy, right? It's about how careless we were, man. You know what I mean? With people's emotions, right? How careless we were. Like, I mean, just doing crazy shit, stealing fucking family heirlooms, whatever the fuck we were doing to use. It was fucking nuts, man. Shit like anger, arrogance. Man, I was out there using, man, and I had the nerve to be arrogant on some days. Like, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know the struggle I'm going through. I mean, it's fucked up, man. Some weird shit. And it's like about a bunch of dishonesty. That's why, for me, this step right here is about one thing. And it is the opposite of all those things I just said. And that is love. And since I'm from Philadelphia and I'm on the outskirts of Philadelphia right now, let's call it brotherly love. See, because love trumps all that shit. If you truly learn to love yourself, it will be damn near impossible for you to harm anybody else. I'm telling you, once you start to love yourself, man, it's real easy to be on some shit like, well, I just let people live, man. I just let people be where they're at, man. You know what I mean? This shit is about love. Because listen, I can't truly love anybody else. You might think you are. See, when you don't love yourself, you might think you're in love with your girlfriend. You might think you love your parents. You might think you love all these fucking people. But really, it's usually kind of like a dependency thing or something else. Because if you don't truly think about it, if you don't love yourself, how the fuck can you really love somebody else? You will always come from a selfish place. It'll always be about what's in it for me. It's real shit, man. And that's what this shit is about. Matter of fact, that's what this step is about for me. And to be honest with you, that's what this whole journey of recovery through all 12 steps here and everything that I do every day to become a better person. It's at the end of the day, it's all about how to give and receive love properly, man. It ain't easy, bro. It ain't fucking easy. But to me, that's what that shit's about, man. All right. By writing our list, we can no longer deny that we caused harm. Already read that shit. We make our list, or take it from the fourth step. If you remember that, I did a video on that a few videos back for anybody who's done a fourth step. And on that fourth step, we did a searching and fearless moral inventory ourselves. And on that, Joan, we got deep and we wrote out all kinds of dirt on us. We wrote about a bunch of shit, man. Fucked up relationships we've been in, our sexual conduct, all kinds of shit. The lies we told, the manipulation we did, all that shit, right? And this is saying we make our list for the amends or take it from the fourth step. And like, I'll tell you like this, you ever get to this step, the eighth step, if you're on it right now, I totally recommend you go review your fourth step. Because in there, you might find some more people you need to put on that list. Just saying. Here you go, it just says it. We make our list and take it from the fourth step and add additional people. You will find some additional people when you go over that fourth step. As we think of them. We face this list honestly and openly examine our faults so we can become willing to make amends. In some cases, we may not know that the persons we have wronged. While using, anyone that we contacted was at risk. Dang. Man, that's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. When we're using, you heard what that thing just said? When we're using, anyone we come in contact with is at risk. Like a motherfucking, we're like a motherfucking hurricane. We're a tornado. ripping through a village. Just destruction, man. Fucked up, man. Many members mention their parents, spouses, children, friends, lovers, other addicts, casual acquaintance, co-workers, employers, teachers, landlords, and total strangers. We may also place ourselves on this list because while practicing our addiction, we have slowly been killing ourselves. You ain't fucking lying. Boy, do we slowly kill ourselves. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. There was a point in my addiction where I wished for death every morning. I wake up, man, at least once, twice a day. Man, I hope today's the day I leave this earth. Because it was like, I can't stop doing it. I can't stop. I'm fucked, man. This is going to be my life? What? I can't keep hurting people and hurting myself. I'd rather just be gone. Man, I hope today's the day. I hope today is the day that I go. That's fucked up, man. But a lot of us felt that way, man. It's crazy, man. We may find it beneficial to make a separate list of people to whom we owe financial amends. How about that shit? People we borrowed money from. Hey, man, yo, you got $20, man? I got a flat tire and some shit. I got to get my kids, this school book for school, man. I kind of ran out and all this other shit, man. It's all bullshit. Really, what you're trying to say is, yo, I'm trying to get $20 so I can get 2 bags. Trying to get $20 so I can get this 5th of Jack Daniels. All that bullshit. Or just straight fucking shit we stole, bro. I know I stole some fucked up shit, man. Man, all the stores I would go, oh man, it was crazy, man. Shit that I think back on now, I'm like, yo, man, what the fuck? Like, what? I can't believe I did that. But yeah, you might make a little separate list. Who I owe some money to, man? Maybe I can start to slowly, when I make amends to that person, because eventually you will make amends to these people that you're writing this list. But don't worry about that right now. We're just trying to make a list. But, eventually, you might, hey, man, I don't know if you remember this like 4 years ago, dude. Remember when you had that $200 missing? Yeah, it was me. What's funny? The person that you say that to will probably say, nah, I already knew it was you, bro. Everybody knew it was you. Matter of fact, you know how I knew it was you? You'd be like, why? Because you asked me to help me look for it. If an addict in active addiction, if you're ever short some money around an addict in active addiction, if they say to you, hold on, I'll help you look for it, you know they did it. It's just a little tip from me to you. Right? As with each step, we must be thorough. Most of us fall short of our goals more often than we exceed them. At the same time, we cannot put off completion of this step just because we are not sure that our list is complete. We are never finished. Bro, that's my experience. You're never finished making amends. You're going to make more mistakes that you're going to have to make amends for as you go through life. Whether you're clean, whether you're spiritual the fuck up, you're going to make mistakes. You have to make amends. We're never finished. Nobody on this earth is ever finished. Everybody's going to say some out-of-pocket shit to somebody one day. Everybody's going to do something they regret doing. And we're going to have to fucking step to those people. Be like, yo, man, I apologize for my actions. Right? The final difficulty in working the 8th step is separating it from the 9th step. And if you don't know, the 9th step is, let's see, the 8th step, I'm getting old, bro. 8th step is we made a list of all persons we had harmed, became willing to make amends to them all. 9 is we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So in 8, we're making the list of people. In 9, we're actually making the amends. Right? So this is talking about we need to separate the two for right now. Right? Because Projections about actually making amends can be a major obstacle both in making the list and in becoming willing. We do this step as if there was no ninth step, and I suggest you do that. Don't worry about making the amends. Just get honest. Write that fucking list of people that you would like to make amends to. Just focus on that, right? We do not even think about making the amends, but just concentrate on exactly what the 8th step says. Make a list and become willing. The main thing this step does for us is to help build awareness that little by little we are gaining new attitudes about ourselves and how we deal with other people. Listening carefully to other members share their experience regarding this step can relieve any confusion that we may have about writing our lists. Also, our sponsors may share with us how step 8 worked for them. Asking a question during a meeting can give us the benefit of group conscience. The 8th step offers a big change from a life dominated by guilt and remorse. That's no bullshit. Man, how about your life being dominated by guilt and remorse? The fuck kind of life is that? Shit. Our futures are changed because we don't have to avoid those who we have harmed. As a result of this step, we receive a new freedom that can end isolation. As we realize our need to be forgiven, we tend to be more forgiving. At least we know that we are no longer intentionally making life miserable for other people. How about that, man? How about it's just time to stop making motherfuckers' lives miserable? You know what I mean? Caused enough misery out in this mother. I know I did, man. Shit. So, and I kind of don't want to admit this, but whatever. I am 49 years old. And I can tell you that I'm at this point where half of my adult life, I've been clean, right? Because I was clean for a while before, and now I got over 7 years. And now I'm and the other half of my adult life was making motherfuckers' lives miserable. Miserable, man. It's time to stop making people fucking miserable, bro. It's time for us to stop being miserable. It's time to forgive ourselves. Move the fuck on so we can forgive others and so people can forgive us, man. And we can just fucking do some good in the fucking world. Try to do some fucking good every day. Fuck, man. The 8th step is an action step. Like all steps, it offers immediate benefits. We are now free to begin our amends in step 9. And that's the last line of that. So like I said, man, this to me is where we get down and dirty when it comes to change. See, we're looking. This ain't a fucking, a 40-yard dash, bro. This is a marathon. Life is a marathon in general, but recovery is definitely it's a journey, man. Everything happens a little. You get a little better every day, man. That's what we're trying to do. But this step here, man, this is where we really start that true conversion of change, dude. This is where we have become willing to look the people in the fucking eye that we have done some fucking harm to, right? Because now we know who they are. Because we sat down with a pen and some fucking paper and we went in. We reviewed our 4th step. Shit, we even looked at our 6th step. And we went in and we put these names down, bro. And guess what? Some of them names, you're going to be staring at them like, man, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to approach that person, man. I don't know if I can do it. Right? But I'm going to tell you from experience. And I got to tell you, I got people on my list that I haven't got to make amends yet. Right? For one, for sure, my kids and my sister. Because through my addiction, you know, it was a fucking mess. I was not a good parent, bro. I mean, who the fuck is when you're getting high? I just was not a good fucking parent. And my sister stepped in and fucking, she had to, because the state was coming at me, bro. It was bad money, man. It's crazy what addiction does. But I still got amends, man. And that day, if that day ever comes where I gotta make amends to my kid, man, that's gonna be a rough joint, bro. I ain't seen my kids in forever. They're older now, like shit ain't no joke, man. But I'm willing to do it. But I can tell you, the amends that I have made with people on that list, dude, it's so freeing. And listen, you might approach somebody with some amends, with some apologies, and they might tell you to go fuck yourself. But it is what it is. You stepped up and you made your amends. However they receive it is how they receive it. It just goes right back to, it's better to be understanding than to be understood. Anyway, that's going to do it for this shit. I hope you got something out of that, man. I really do. And like I said, hey, if you got some experience with this, leave it in the comments, man. Like, I'm always ready to learn. I'm always ready to learn. Share your experience. Even if we ain't teaching each other anything. You know, you could share your fucking experience with me, man. You know, I kind of dig that shit. I like talking recovery with people because I think it's important, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope y'all have a good day. Seriously. You know what I mean? It's a great day to be alive, man. Especially if you're clean. If you got the disease of addiction and you ain't used shit today, you're fucking winning. I'm going to end this shit just like I end every other video, right? Just remember this. The disease of addiction, it's broad. And it's outside of the realm of just using drugs. Keep coming back. More will be revealed. I'm out of here.